Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I am going to be fully reviewing the Destiny. This is a Tier 9 Blitz Nation heavy tank, and it's a vehicle that looks incredibly cool. I think we can all agree. It's basically a modern tank. It's a Tier 9, which doesn't really place it at too high of a modern vehicle. But in today's video, I'm going to be going over its statistics, armor profile, and its overall gameplay on the battlefield, letting you know my professional opinion on if you should spend a lot of time grinding this vehicle or not. And yes, you can get this tank for free. However, I'm not sure about upgrading this tank for free. There are 39 stages in total to get this vehicle fully upgraded. And on stage 2, you get the Destiny for 999 boxes. So, yeah, in paper, it's cheap to get the Destiny. But I don't think you want to drive this vehicle stock. I mean, you're going to have 400 less CPM, your dispersion's going to be worse, your alpha's going to be worse, everything's going to be worse. Please do not drive this vehicle stock, guys. I played one game in this tank just to get a feel for it before starting today's video. There were 4 Destinies on my game. 4! Like, if I go to Destiny here, look at this. There was 2 on the enemy team. 3 on the enemy team, and they were all like, these are all players that have like super low battle counts that are driving a vehicle that's completely stock. Listen, if you're a new player and you're thinking, wow, I just got a tier 9, you didn't. Like, sure, you did, but if you're driving this tank without the modules fully equipped, you're gonna do awful in it. I would recommend to wait until you get it fully upgraded before you start playing this vehicle. With that being said, let's start off with its statistics, right? With this vehicle, we have 4.6 seconds of aiming time, which is not good. So hopefully the on-movement dispersion feels nice when we drive it. And you have a dispersion of 0.3, which is alright, actually. I am running refined gun, but yeah, the dispersion's pretty good on this vehicle. Damage per minute is 2,140, but while that's pretty mediocre for a tier 9 heavy, you have to remember this is a HESH firing tank, and it also features tungsten, so it actually has a lot of potential damage output. It has a reload of 11.5 seconds and 265 standard pen with 410 damage per shot. With HESH, it has 460 damage per shot and 180 mils of pen. So not a crazy amount of high explosive pen, but enough that you'll be able to cut through most tier 8s and a decent amount of tier 9s. It has 6 degrees of gun depression, which is mediocre, and a top speed of 42, with a pretty good power to weight ratio, if I'm going to be entirely honest. Mobility wise, this tank felt very nice in my first game. It has a lot of consumables. You have tungsten, you have reactive armor, you have adrenaline. I'm personally going to be running reactive armor and tungsten on this vehicle to make use of the consumables as good as possible. Provisions, fairly average, nothing too special there about the tank. So let's actually take a look at this vehicle's armor profile. I think a lot of you want to see what it's working with. And it looks really good, but in reality, it's really not that good. First of all, these 2 cutouts here are massive weak spots. At any angle these are exposed, they are going to be pens. They are only 90 millimeters thick. You're not going to struggle. The frontal plate is only about 70 mils thick as well, meaning that you can even high explosive this in most vehicles, so keep that in mind. The turret is also very weak as long as you aim right below the gun. This is only about 180 millimeters thick, and again, it's not going to be very hard penetration. Anybody that has a brain that watches one of my videos will instantly know where to pen this tank. If you are a noob and you don't watch these videos, then, well, you're going to struggle to pen it. You're probably going to be like, what the heck am I aiming at? It's all red. I should also mention the lower plate is quite a weak spot because you can just load gold and then it becomes a weak spot everywhere. The only reason the lower plate is so red is because of the auto ricochet angle. We can see a better example here. It's just super steep, so you're getting bounces. But in reality, you know, this is what most heat shells are going to see. And if you are using gun depression and showing that lower plate, it's going to be a very, very easy pen. So, yeah, it's not the best in terms of armor, but it does have some very, very troll and tricky armor that I can imagine most players who are especially not great are definitely going to struggle to cut through. Here's something, though, you do have to worry about, and that is the reverse speed. This vehicle reverses at a whopping 10 kilometers per hour. I don't know why Wargaming chooses these values, but yeah, 10 is quite tragic, and it is going to make this a very, very challenging vehicle to use, because if you over-aggress, you're going to have to get back into cover. And obviously, getting back into cover is going to be a little challenging if you reverse at the same speed as a snail. So, Definitely something to keep in mind there. I don't think it's going to be the biggest deal ever as long as you're a decent player, but I can tell you for a fact that when you load into a game with autoloaders, you're going to have to be really careful. An autoloader is going to be able to easily cut through your armor and just stop you entirely from having a fun experience if you do overexpose and you get stuck in a spot with that 10 reverse. So make sure you're near cover when using this vehicle. Make sure you are not in a very exposed spot looking at the enemy lineups, especially if they have high alpha or auto-loading vehicles, which can obviously track you and keep you locked in the open. I should also mention that this is extremely important because I'm only running one repair kit. That's it, because I got tungsten and I also got reactive armor. And obviously, those are two very important consumables. Reactive armor alone allows me to live longer, allows me to do more damage, and tungsten allows me to deal more with my penning shells. So, like, it's important to run both of those consumables, but at the same time, you need to put yourself in a situation where you're not just blowing through your repair kits immediately. So here we are in Naval Frontier. Up against us, we have, how many heavies? We have 3 heavies, and we also have heavily armored tank destroyers, being an AT-15 and an Elephant. I'm hoping that my TNH-105, who appears to be stock, and my 114 help me out, but we're going to find out. Here we go. So let's take a look at the speed this vehicle has. As I said, it's 42 kilometers per hour, and it, to me, felt like a very good power-to-weight ratio. And we can see that here as well. I'm already up to 36, 37. This tank's pretty fast, and that's actually quite nice. I like mobile vehicles, and this tank definitely checks those boxes. I mean, look at the speed on this thing. We are already across. We are chilling. Yeah, this thing's quick. I do really like that, and it's going to make this a rather enjoyable vehicle for me to mess around with. The KPZ shoots, and what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to, get shot by the T-32. But I'm going to move up over here, and we're going to see if I can get some shells into the Elephant. Something over here. I'm not really sure. Oh, we got the Boss Chatillon right there. Oh, okay. That's Sag. By the way, this is that reverse speed. I mean, the reverse is tragic on this tank, and it's going to hurt you when you're trying to use it. Already my AMX is dead. Not very surprising, to be honest. Love to be able to shoot that KPZ, but I also have the Boss Chatillon. I'm going to move to the rear of the KPZ very quickly. There you go. Nice shell into his tank. I'm going to chill right on the back side of this AMX. And I think this is really the best spot for me to put myself in right now. We're going to use my tungsten and boom, a 531. I mean, you can't deny that is a huge chunk of alpha. Like, the ability to roll somebody with 530 hash. I mean, look, this KPZ has 500 health. Not anymore. Now he's dead. 500 damage high explosive right there. That is insane. Like, I can tell you for a fact, the damage output this vehicle has is quite dangerous, and it's going to hit hard. Lower plate of the T-30, 456. Now we put on my reactive. Let's hope the 114 gets that T-32. 180 damage. I mean, I can tell you that this tank does feel very nice. 470 damage high explosive into the Boss Chatillon right there. We're going to reload again. We only have 10 seconds left. We're up to 2,500 damage already. And let's see, we load in another HE, boom, 450 damage, and our teammate gets the clear. Okay, so we have the 704 who just shot. So we're going to move up this hill and see if we can get some damage into the 704. The good news is that I have enough health to easily take a shot from the 704. Not able to high explosive pen, but you know what, a 513 damaging shell feels pretty good. 704 fires a high explosive at me, and I'd love to be able to HE pen this player. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut to the side, and there you go. 505. This thing feels great, honestly. I mean, the ability to just chunk high explosive shells into your opponents, like I just did, it's pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty dang nice. That was a 4,000 damage game. It was over very quickly, too. 4,013 damage. We didn't block too much, but as I said, the armor on paper seems very strong. In actual gameplay, I don't think it's going to be nearly as capable as people think. But thankfully, because it has reactive armor, because it has HESH, because it has tungsten, I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal, because if you can work all the other areas of this tank well, it's going to be nice. The biggest killer, again, is that reverse speed. You saw a very brief moment of that poor reverse speed when dealing with that Boss Chatillon. I literally was just so slow trying to back into cover there. You will struggle when you're in a situation and you're needing it. Imagine a 183 is about to roll around a corner, and you need to back up before that 183 is going to nuke you. Well, with this tank, yeah, that's going to be a very, very challenging perspective. So there's definitely areas where I can imagine people are not going to do very well in this vehicle. But there's also areas where I can think of this tank doing really well. Like the last game we just played. The Hesh output is super dangerous. And when you pair that with the really good mobility of 42 kilometers per hour and the solid power to weight ratio as well, I mean, you can quickly get to the side of your opponents. You saw that with the Kampfpanzer there. I went up, I went around, put myself in a great position to completely box out that Kampfpanzer, and activating my Tungsten, I was able to take that player out with like 2 HEs in a standard. That's insane. That damage output is so incredibly dangerous. So here we are, another game. We have 2 Destinies up against us. We have three on our team. And I'm interested to see how much health our Destinies have. As I said, people are just getting this tank and driving it stock immediately. 2,000 health, 2,000 health. They're stock. Like, bruh. And we can see their stock by also looking at the turret. Notice how there's no spaced armor on the turret and mine has spaced armor? Yeah. So we have 2 stock Destinies. I don't know what's up with people driving these tanks stock and thinking it's a good idea. It's not. Please stop driving them stock, guys. Please. Just stop. You're not helping anybody. You're not. But, oh well, I have no words. I have absolutely no words. Yeah, you can see the gun is stock as well, because my gun looks entirely different from theirs. So, yeah, basically I have 2 useless teammates. Oh, what the heck. Alright, well, I'm interested to see how this works out. Let's aim it on the AT. There you go, 410 damage, not bad. And, well, all we have is Tungsten right now, so I'm just going to chill here, and, you know what? I'm going to activate my Tungsten and Adrenaline. We're going to be smart about this. Aiming. Yeah, 505. That's a nice chunky alpha shell there. Alright, so we got the Sharfie Chair 4. And obviously I don't want to be in a situation where, like, I'm getting bled. But at the same time, that's a 540 damage shell into you. I do have teammates as well. Like, I have the Destiny. I don't have much, though. I have to be careful here. I can't put myself in a situation where, like, the enemy's just going to be able to nuke me. There you go. Another nice shell into the Char. That's obviously very important. And I need to lower that Char as much as I humanly can, because the lower I get that player, the better I am in a situation here. So that is something to keep in mind. Oh. I also get penned by the Tiger. Although it looks like that Tiger may be stock, which is actually quite good if that's the case. Alright, let's see. We got the Tiger right over here, and I'm not actually sure if this Tiger is stock or not. Boom! 430 damage shell into you. Alright, sweet. The enemy team is finally dying in mid here, which obviously gives me that freedom to kind of do what I want now. So, Char's not even looking at me, so I'm just going to move up. Not able to HE pen the Tiger, but 430 damage is pretty good. And yeah, we're having a pretty solid game here, to be honest. There's really no complaints from me. I'm going to put on my reactive armor and get a nice shell into the Tiger there. Tiger gets the clearance of my Destiny. Alright, let's reload. 3, 2, 1. Let's use a Tungsten. Ooh, 546. Bro, this thing chunks like crazy. I actually really like this vehicle. So, I got no complaints about the Destiny. I think this is a beast. I'm obviously going to be playing it more in the future, and I'll probably do a live stream of it. But at this point, the vehicle is very, very fun. I think this is a great tank, honestly. I think the armor is very solid. How much do we end up blocking this game? Yeah, 1800. Like, obviously, the armor on flat ground isn't going to be amazing. And we saw that when aiming in on the enemy Destiny. Like, even with high explosive, you aim it on the corner cutouts, you're going to pen it every time. So it's not going to be an incredibly hard tank to pen. But I do think that the mobility, paired with the reactive, the Tungsten, and the overall alpha damage makes this thing a beast. And I actually really, really enjoyed it. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about the Destiny. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. And if you're going to say, Droodles, I want to see tier 10 gameplay, well, make sure you stay tuned for the stream that I'll have, and then you can see tier 10 gameplay. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.